Guys, Jason from Toothgrinder. I'm going to run you through my entire rig today. I'll start with the amp because that's really where it all comes from. I have right here Mesa Boogie dual rectifier, rack mountable. It's the black face one. It's actually from the early 90s. And then I just always use Mesa, so really anything Mesa suits. I've messed with Mark V's. I really like his power amp he has over there if I ever did anything with Axevex and stuff. So Mesa is really my go-to thing. And while we're on the Mesa train, I also use Mesa cab clone for live. It's great to run a DI right to the front of house. I like doing that because we get crazy on stage, mics get spun, or you just have a different mic placement every night. You don't get that consistency. And typically I would be running off the live channel into a orange amp, but because of tight space on some of these shows with some of these stages, I can't use my orange tonight. But moving on from there, I'll go to my guitars, my other main pieces of equipment. Bust this out. This is my main whip, PRS Custom 24. It's burnt maple leaf finish. My pickups are PRS metal pickups. I just found them to be the best. I've compared them with some other things, and in this particular guitar, it's the best sound that I've gotten. I do like other pickups, but I don't think they suit this guitar better than these PRS metal pickups. And then for my strings, and this goes for all the strings on all my guitars, are Dunlops. I have a custom set. This is 11 to 60, and that's what's also on my backup guitar. But then I have another guitar for a different tuning where I go 11 to 68, just because this string, the lowest string, is even lower tuned, so it helps hold that tension and allow us to get the right sound live and not flop around and all that stuff. So it works well. I'll show you that guitar right now. It's another PRS. This is an older one I got years ago that I love as well. It's another Custom 24. It's got a natural finish on the top, and this is that 68 I was talking about. From the fine fellows over there at Dunlop, they hooked it up for me. Let me pick out what I wanted, which is nice. You don't have to go scrounge through packs of strings and buy different things. You can just kind of be like, I want to try this, and it worked out really nicely. So it's really the first time that I feel like I'm playing the right gauge strings for the tunings that we have, which is really nice. Typically, for everything, I'm just playing on the right here on the bridge. If I do have a solo, if it's in that song's in the set, sometimes I'll throw it right on the neck. I don't really mess with anything in between, even though this one's not a 5-way selector, but the other one was a 5-way selector. It's cool to mess with that stuff in the studio, but when you're on those like 2 and 4 settings in between, it really has a drop in volume, so I won't really mess with that live. And I don't do anything with the center, although maybe I could change my mind in the future. There's no knowing. And as far as that, everything's always just maxed out on the tone volume. If I want to change volumes, I do stuff with the pedals, which I'll get to next. Alright, so this is my pedal board. It's changed a lot recently, actually. Main reason is I took away some of the stomp boxes and replaced it with the MIDI controller, Rocktron. That Rocktron controls some MIDI, some stomp boxes that are in my rack that I'm going to add more to, and it also controls my channel changing and toggling my effects loop on and off. But starting from what goes out to the amp, first thing I have right here is a little freeze guy. It literally holds the tone instantaneously. I have it on latch, the latch setting, so then you just double tap it to turn it off, tap it to turn it on. So this is good. Like I use it for like changeover between songs. If I want to hold a note, just kind of clear the air so it's not just dead silence. I used to do it a lot more when we didn't run tracks, didn't have any backing noise. Time to time I'll hold notes anyway for little things. It's cool. It's a really cool tool to just jam with too, because you can just hold tones and like you hold a chord shape or something like that and just do like little licks over it. And it's fun to mess around with. It's not vital, but it's fun. And then the next thing is this is my baby. It's my volume swell. I love this because one, I don't like to mess around with toggling on my guitar too much sometimes when I'm running around the stage like a maniac, but I like to do this mostly, one, to just kill my sound, two, I use a dialed back tone. It's kind of like a muted tone we'll do in a lot of our verses and stuff like that, where it's not clean. I leave it on distortion, but I just kind of kick it back to about 3/4, and that really is something that I like to do a lot. Then moving on to my next pedal is this is Seymour Duncan 805. It's great boost to throw on for solos. It's pretty simple, just extra boost, extra little bit of, I don't know, it cuts through better, pushes my high end. And then this is just my wireless right here, line 6. It's solid. It's simple, basic wireless. I don't seem to have too many problems when I'm the only one using it. But sometimes when there's a lot of people on a tour package using it, you have to make sure that you search for your channel. Just right here, your channel, and it'll actually, the amount of bars right there will tell you how good that channel is. And right now it's not, that's 1. So I think the channel it's on might be the best one today. But yeah, anyway, I usually rock channel 2 if there's no problem. I can get 1 bar there, but I'll find the best one later when we do sound check. Basic Goss chromatic tuner, old standard. And then some of the effects that are in my rack, well, some of my devices, I should say, not necessarily effects, but in here, I gotta take this out of here. Right now I have Voodoo Lab control switcher. This toggles my distortion on and off, and then it toggles the effects loop on and off. And then this was something that I'm just starting to introduce, which is also Voodoo Lab. This basically is just a bypass looper, and you can just run multiple effects into it. So right now, the only thing I have in there is the Holy Grail for reverb, but I intend to add more effects like phasers and some compression maybe, or something like that for different sounds, but maybe an octave pedal. But I'm getting around to that because this is a new addition for me, so I didn't get to mess with it too much before we left for this tour. Our new record, Phantom More, comes out November 10th. We're selling pre-orders at shows on this tour. We have many dates left, all on the West Coast, South, all sorts of stuff like that. So if you haven't checked out the dates, check them out. Come out, get a pre-order. Got a bunch of new merch to support the record, and I hope you see us out there.